Hello and thank you for joining us on TVC News at 4. We'll begin in Osun, where the state government has frozen the State Polytechnic's account and also shut the institution for 2 weeks. This follows the resumption of the suspended rector of the Polytechnic, Dr. Tajudeen Odetayo, on Thursday after securing an injunction of court. TVC News correspondent Rafiu Hamid reports.
The State College of Education in Elisha was upgraded to a university status in February last year by former Governor Govt. It is now set to commence academic activities. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Taiwo Ashaolu, says all necessary steps have been taken to ensure smooth takeoff and running of the institution.
At the just concluded resource verification exercise by the National Universities Commission NUC, I am very excited to inform you all that the first phase of our academic programs has all been approved.
You attribute the successes recorded to the support of the state government.
Until now, we have only received support from the state government, led by Senator Ademola Adeleke. The takeoff grant, the running costs of the university, and the resource verification fund.
A number of projects, including hostels and lecture theaters, are being built, with road construction within the campus starting soon. The Vice-Chancellor, who led other management team to inspect the projects, said the first set of students are to be admitted for the 2023-2024 academic session. With the approval given to all the 32 programs presented by the university by the National Universities Commission, coupled with the first lift being given to the university, the Vice-Chancellor hopes that the institution will compete favorably with its counterparts across the country in the nearest future. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Elisha, Osun State.
In Katsina State, Governor Umar Rada says his 100 days in office has availed him proper understanding of the security situation in the state, and he is optimistic his approach to insecurity will actually yield results soon. The governor was addressing the press in his office to mark the 100 days in office of his administration. TVC News correspondent Abdulatif Yusuf reports.
Although many critics see nothing spectacular about celebrating 100 days in office, most governments deem it necessary to relate to the public their experiences and what the future holds. Like most of the northwestern state governors, Dikko Rada assumed leadership at a very critical time when the state was in search of solutions to insecurity and its dwindling economic fortunes. A recent resurgence in banditry and kidnapping activities added to the myriad of challenges the incoming administration was immediately faced with.
Over the past 100 days, my administration has tirelessly worked to lay the foundation of a new era of security, prosperity, and inclusive governance. During this short yet impactful period, we have embarked on a journey of transformation across the various sectors that are vital to the well-being of our citizens.
The state has already commenced reforms in all sectors, with priorities on civil service, agriculture, educational and economic development.
My administration campaigned on the public service administration reforms, and we are of the first exercise we conducted was a complete review of the mandates of all the ministries and departments and agencies to eliminate duplications and insufficiency in the system. We also sent bills to the State Assembly for the creation of Katsina State Development Management Board, the first of its kind in the whole of the country.
The state government is determined to guide the state into prosperity, but the competition for scarce resources amid an increasing population are factors to be considered. Critics of the administration are also of the view that similar approaches were applied in the past but never worked. The people's demand on the government are on the increases on a daily basis, especially now that the removal of subsidy is making life unbearable for the people. Abdulatif Yusuf, TVC News, Katsina.
Speakers Yusuf Zailani has extended his congratulations to President Bola Tinubu for his tribunal victory, characterizing it as a validation of Tinubu's mandate. He also praised the Presidential Appeal Tribunal for their comprehensive and well-articulated interpretation of the law, particularly in areas where electoral statutes were unclear. While advocating for unity, Mr. Zailani urged fellow statesmen Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar to work together in the pursuit of a Nigeria that serves its people, regardless of their location. He underscored the necessity for cohesion and progress, while cautioning against divisive tactics that could potentially weaken the nation. Members of the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria have converged on Kano State, Northwest Nigeria to discuss issues relating to challenges faced by health workers in the country. The medical and dental consultants are hopeful that at the end of the conference, solutions would be proffered as regards organ transplant and regulations, among others. TVC News Kano correspondent Ibrahim Isa reports.
I will attend to my own health.
It's a gathering of the creme de la creme in the field of medical and dentistry in Nigeria. The medical professionals have lined up some of the challenges bedeviling their practice in Nigeria and are to deliberate on them. Surgeon migration, organ transplant, and regulations are some of the issues to be discussed at the conference.
This conference will digest the challenges and profile way forward, and will crave the indulgence of our respected dignitaries to assist us whatever that we come up with as a resolution on medical education to see to its reality. Medical education, just as clinical service delivery, is taking a big hit from the exodus of consultants from the country to greener pastures. This is in addition to the surreptitious staff encroachment, often manifesting as curriculum upgrade by allied IT professionals. The need to have frank discussion and innovate speedily to address these challenges cannot be overemphasized.
The Minister of Health, Ali Party, who was represented by the Chief Medical Director of Amin Kano Teaching Hospital, Abdurrahman Sheshe, expressed the federal government's commitment to providing finance, insurance coverage, and other key projects and programs that would make a bright future.
We cannot ignore the pressing issues that our health system faces today. Poor financing, brain drain, inadequate health facilities, obsolete equipment, and poor and inadequate insurance coverage, and many more. This has contributed to the dismal state of our healthcare industry.
The Medical and Dentist Association of Nigeria conference is carried out every 2 years. The medical and dental consultants are optimistic that the challenges faced by the health sector would be discussed during the conference and solutions profiled. Ibrahim Isa, TVC News, Kano.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies says the 21st century offers enormous opportunities for inclusive growth and sustainable development, not only for the West African sub-region, but Africa as a whole. Its Director General, Abubakar Sulaiman, who spoke at the Africa Climate Summit in Kenya, wants African Parliament to be strengthened to make for vibrant climate change legislations. TVC News' Jokia Disa has more.
Africa Climate Change Summit 2023, put together by the African Union and the government of Kenya, offers another opportunity for countries across the globe to brainstorm on progress made and profess solutions to challenges.
At whatever level small, we know Africa will contribute little, but that little is us as a country to say this is the level that we're going to contribute in initial reduction.
Perspectives of national climate change legislation in West Africa is the subject of discussion as NIL's Director General Abubakar Sulaiman gives his keynote speech. It's just 7 years away from the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. The DG says while there has been varying progress in the attainment of the goals across Africa, climate change poses serious threat to how the continent progresses towards attaining not just the SDGs, but also aspirations of the Africa We Want Agenda 2063.
The opportunity for a greener Africa to achieve inclusive growth and sustainable development for women, young people, and excluded group is enormous. Not engaging with Parliament in the region with a view to enhancing the capacity of legislature and their support staff in climate change legislation and governance will erode potential gains.
He's unhappy that only Kenya, Nigeria, and Uganda have passed the Climate Change Act. Abubakar Sulaiman and government representative worry that except Africa positions itself for climate change through legislation, the opportunities available to place the subject on the front burner and mitigate its impact on the continent may be lost.
It's high time to see climate change challenges as a critical threat to our lives, to our properties, to humanity as a whole. I think we need to do more in bringing the CS or the public into this mainstream of climate change challenges.
Issues of security and instability are also directly or indirectly linked to the quest or the struggle for scarce natural resources brought about by climate change.
It is the resolve of all at the summit that it is important for Africa to scale up progress with climate change by increasing the slow pace amongst member countries. Africa, it insists, must do away with local climate change actions that have contributed to worsening livelihoods and fueled political instability. Jokeyatsa, TVC News, Abuja.